Alright everybody, welcome to another game here with Sly Fox. Today we are playing as the new champion Rek'Sai in the jungle. So our team is Gregus top, Thresh and Caitlyn bottom, Katarina mid, and me in the jungle as Rek'Sai. Enemy team is, I believe it was a Rek'Sai in the jungle, Pantheon top, Brand mid, and a Taric Caitlyn bottom lane. So some similarities, but good teams overall. I am doing a voiceover on this guy again, so it will be more informative because I'm not focusing on playing. So yeah, hopefully you're here to learn a lot about this champion. I feel like this game does a good job of showing kind of what the champion's really good for, and how it can be used effectively. I don't think I do anything miraculous that I remember about in this game, but I did play fairly solid. There you can see me dancing. It's a pretty sweet dance. Anyways, so we'll start off reading over his passive here. When Rek'Sai is unburrowed, his basic attacks give him Fury, which is basically like his resource, even though none of his spells cost anything. They are all completely free. But his basic attacks build up his Fury, and what his Fury does is when he's burrowed, if he has Fury, it will drain to give him health. The Fury also helps scale the damage on your E, but I will get to that again once we get to the E ability. So here you go, I'll go underground. You'll see my health jump up rapidly here. I'm not rapidly at level 1, but pretty substantially. Substantially larger than a normal level 1 regen. And you saw my Fury deplete there. And yeah, I believe that's it with the passive. The Q ability, you can see me spamming it whenever it's cooldown basically here, but when you activate it and you're above ground, it causes your next 3 basic attacks to do damage in an area of effect around you, and sorry. Alright, that's better. So it'll hit everything around you and deal the damages. And there it is there, you can see me ferociously slapping everything around it. And it also makes your attack deal bonus damage. Oh, sorry, your next 3 basic attacks, not just the first one. Those 3 basic attacks that you do the AoE damage deal bonus damage. And that scales with your character's bonus attack damage. And what I mean by bonus attack damage, as opposed to just regular attack damage, is my base AD, right now I believe that's a 76 there. That doesn't count in the scaling. I may have some AD in my runes here. I'm not entirely sure. And that stuff would scale. But you'll see my first couple items will be attack damage items, and the attack damage that I buy from the shop will count towards the bonuses there. When you're underground, his Q becomes a different ability. I'll go over the underground portion, that's his W, in a second. But when you're underground, like I am now, your Q is different. It becomes the straight line with a really long range. You just saw the targeter for it there. And it deals a little bit of damage. Mostly it's used for the reveal, because like you can see when I go underground here, your vision range gets really small. So your Q is very good for when you're in this vision range that is very limited. You can still see enemy champions, and the way you'll be able to know where to shoot it is because of that big purple circle around the champion here. So yeah, you can see this big blue line that it's kind of in the middle of my screen there. Anywhere within that line, when you're burrowed, you get what's called tremor sense. So if anything's moving that you don't have vision of in that area, you'll see a little dots. Like you can see the little white dots from the big golem there that I couldn't see, and you'll see those. And if it's an enemy champion as opposed to just a jungle creature or lane minions, then the bubbles will be substantially larger. So if I remember to point that out, I will at a later point in the game. So yeah, you can see kind of where things are headed in a way. It's very weird to get used to, but a very, very good and very unique aspect to this champion, which I really enjoy. So yeah, and then like I said, when you're burrowed, you also get the health regen from your passive, and it will consume all of your fury. So you'll get to see it as soon as I'm done clearing these camps here. You'll see my fury drop rapidly and my health increase again. Yeah, and then when you cast the W when you're burrowed, it unburrows you, which knocks people up. It also automatically casts if you try to basic attack somebody while you're under the ground, because when you're underground you don't have a basic attack. So it automatically unburrows you and causes you to start attacking it. So there, you just saw me use a knock up on the brand there from unburrowing, and me and that Katarina got a nice kill there. So that was a very well executed gank. Notice that I used my tunnel there, which I will get to in just a second, to get behind the guy. If you try to tunnel at the person, it's a pretty slow travel time, so they'll just keep walking backwards and they'll be able to avoid it. But if you go behind them, then they're forced to either walk back into whoever they're trying to run away from, or they're forced to run into you where you're just going to knock them up. So you do want to try to get that behind them. Being burrowed gives you move speed. I don't know that I mentioned that yet, but it is a good thing to notice. So that's why I'm pretty much always burrowed when I can be. So like there again, I burrow just because I get the extra move speed, and the tremor sense is nice. If you're trying to do something like this, you can look kind of behind you and see if somebody's moving with the tremor sense, little white dots, blips. That was another well executed gank there. Just saw him walking over to ward, and yeah, just tunneled over the wall and knocked him up, and Katarina was able to get on him as well. So yeah, oh yeah, I die here. That's embarrassing. Yeah, those chickens are really strong. So if you're at low health, don't choose them as the camp that you want to test your luck against. You'll probably die. They're really strong in the new jungle. But that's fine. We'll get onto the E ability here. So when you're underground, we'll talk about this one first, because in my opinion it's easier to explain. And I think I just demonstrate it right here. So it creates tunnels, which you can reuse once they're already on the ground, as I'm demonstrating here. And I believe I go over the ultimate right now. So just watch this and try to remember it for when I get there. It's pretty simple. But basically what the tunnels do is, the first time you cast it, you create a tunnel and you dig a set distance. You can't cut a tunnel short or anything, and I know lots of people have been having troubles with that. But it's, once you get used to it, it's not too bad. You just need to figure out which sort of things. Oh, there's the big champion blips as opposed to the little minion monster ones. And they did leave pretty quick. Hopefully Somebody else. Now we didn't. Crap. I missed it. But that's fine. Oh, here's an enemy Rek'Sai here. Good work, Cam. Alright. Oh, Cam is me, by the way. If you guys didn't know my real name, I'm sure you have if you watch any of my friends' videos, or games with friends, everyone just calls me Cam. So, anyways, back on to this new fancy champion. These tunnels last for 10 minutes, but they can also be destroyed as this Tarek started doing there. They can be destroyed just by standing on the box, or on either end of the tunnel. Sorry, I said the box because I saw the threshold come out here. If you stand on the either end of one of the tunnels of the enemy Rek'Sai for, I think it's just a second, maybe a second and a half. It's not very long. It will get destroyed and you gain 5 gold. So if you ever see an enemy Rek'Sai, just step on those tunnels. It'll annoy the crap out of them. Yeah, so you have access to use these tunnels for those 10 minutes and just crawl through them. They give you a lot of maneuverability, and if I remember correctly, a bit later in the game I get a pretty good tunnel network set up and I use it, so hopefully you guys enjoy that once it comes. It also, they're really good for letting you get around your jungle a lot faster. This game I haven't done it as much, but I've definitely had times where pretty much from base I can get out there pretty quick using 2 or 3 tunnels, and then I'll have one full side of my jungle tunneled up, so basically I can get anywhere in the jungle within a couple seconds as opposed to having to walk all around the walls. Oh, that was bad. You can make that from that bush to inside the blue buff, oh, here's me destroying the enemy Rek'Sai tunnel just for a brief thing. That's about a second, right guys? I think so. Yeah, so I believe that's basically all you need to know about tunnels. It is the only gap closer, so I'm going to use it here, and you'll see me use it basically just a suicide, but I do get the kill, so that's not the worst thing that could happen, but I do give the enemy carry a kill, which is bad. That's not really worth. If anybody's trying to learn how to play the game, don't do that. Tower diving is usually not worth it, unless you're pretty far ahead. Anyways, let's get to the E when you're above ground, which is more of like a combat stance as opposed to a utility stance, if you want to compare it that way. So the E is called Furious Bite, and it works. It's kind of like a finishing move. You want to use it to you want to use it for a lot of damage, but you can't use it early in a fight. It doesn't actually have execute potential, and when I'm saying that, I mean it doesn't deal bonus damage based on enemies missing health like some abilities do. How it works is it does, like, looking at it right now, it does a 159 damage if I use it with 0 Fury, but it does, I think it was at 300 and something, or just over 300 damage if I'm at 100 Fury. So it scales with the amount of Fury I have. So you want to build up Fury in a fight and then use it at the end. When you're at 100 Fury, which is max, your E, Furious Bite, deals true damage instead of, I believe it's physical damage. So if you have 99, it's really worth waiting the extra 1 hit to completely ignore armor to get extra damage through. Here's another really good thing you can do with Rek'Sai. As you can see, this guy, this brand here, I thought he was fairly safe because he was really close to his turret. But Rek'Sai can easily tunnel from like obscure places, such as from Wraiths there, and you need champions with like a pretty low cooldown type of gap closer to do that effectively. or like a really long distance gap closer. Like a Zac can do it really well. Jarvan can do it. I don't like to do it on Jarvan, but I can go into that another time. This video is about Rek'Sai. But yeah, it's a weird gank path that not all junglers can do, so that's one of the things that makes him really strong. Also, like right here, do I just use my tunnel to get out, or do I keep farming his jungle? Oh, okay. What you can do with Rek'Sai, you can see where I placed my tunnel there. After I had cleared the red buff, if I felt I was in more danger, I could have just gone back out through the exact same tunnel I came in. Oh, that's something I missed. There's a 12-second cooldown between you being able to go through a tunnel and then go back through it. Just so that people can't jump over walls infinitely and make people burn flashes for nothing, because that would be pretty broken. And there's what I said about going behind somebody, right? Like you saw, I went straight at the brand, and he just kept walking and basically was fine. Like I couldn't do anything to him anymore. I had used my gap closer and just missed it. So you want to try to get behind him when you can. Yeah. So yeah, the E ability, it's really good, and the E ability scales off of just your attack damage. So the more attack damage you have, the more damage that bite goes up to. But again, you want to try to use it when you have 100 Fury, just because it'll deal true damage, it'll do the most. By a pretty substantial amount. The ultimate has two portions to it. It only has one active and one passive. The passive is more for your combatness, and then the active is more for utility. So the passive on it, I'll go over that real quick because I'm not using the active yet. The passive on it gives you 20% attack speed per rank you have in it. So at rank 1, you have plus 20% attack speed, and at rank 2 you have plus 40, and then at rank 3 you have plus 60% attack speed. And because of that, I don't think it's really worth it to buy much attack speed on Rek'Sai, because he gets as much as he needs for the late game just from that ultimate. So come later in the game, you'll see that my attack speed gets really, really high, and there's no real need to have it any higher. So like if you wanted to go full damage Rek'Sai, then you could, but I don't see the point in it personally. But yeah, and then the active portion is really an interesting mechanic that I think it's the only global movement ultimate in the game anymore. There used to be quite a few, but took a lot of them out because they were really strong. But they gave Rek'Sai one because it's conditional based on where his tunnels are. So what it does though is it channels for a second and a half when you cast it, and you have to target one of your tunnels, and then it channels for a second and a half, and after the second and a half you will move for like a second and a half maybe to that tunnel. It doesn't matter how far across the map it is, it's always the same set amount of time. I don't know that amount of time. I think it's the second and a half. I'm not 100% sure though. But my cut rating got so fun in this game. So yeah, you travel to that location as fast as you can, or within that duration of time. It's incredibly fast. But again, you have to have a tunnel there, and like I said, the enemies can destroy your tunnels by standing on it for a second. So if they get control, like right now, if they got control of their red side jungle, they can clear all of my tunnels there within a matter of seconds, just to so that I couldn't use my ult effectively. And here's a nice use of the tunnels. You just have a couple with entrances near each other, and then if you hop from one tunnel to the other, you can just move really quickly and get out of somewhere or in somewhere. So that was Rek'Sai. Hope you learned a lot, hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.